This ritual here is without a doubt the most important thing my partner and I do in our relationship. Every person I've told about date night has been deeply inspired by it, and I've been told by a few of them that I should probably make a video about it. And so I'm going to share with you the dating ritual that my partner and I have been doing now for every single week without fail for over 2 years. I'm going to tell you exactly how it works, why it works, and how it's arguably the best thing we do in our relationship together. So date night is a weekly ritual of 4 questions that we ask each other over dinner, and it's structured in a very specific and intentional way, and that gets us feeling deeply connected and appreciative of each other and helps us resolve conflicts in just about the best way possible. There are 2 ground rules to start. And the first rule is to make date night an unskippable ritual. Good relationships require work and maintenance, and it's just like going to the gym. You don't get buff at the gym and then you just decide to go whenever you feel like it, if you feel like it. Anyone in peak health knows that you have to consistently show up and do the work. Relationship fitness is very similar. Good relationships don't happen by accident. At least they don't happen by accident for me. I'm very intentional with my attention, and it's worth the effort. And the second rule is for both of us to intentionally look and dress our best. Since both of us work from home, we're mostly seeing each other at our most comfortable. We don't dress up for the work that we do. I'm on camera for most of my work, and you don't really need to know what I'm wearing underneath the shirt. Let your imaginations run wild. And so both of us intentionally once a week put effort into looking our best for each other with the nice outfits that we don't usually wear at home, because it shows that we take this seriously and that we really want to impress each other. If you're gonna show up to the game, then make sure you're in uniform. We've tried doing some date nights from home, from the comfort of our couch, and those just didn't work out the same. They didn't feel as special. So no, now we go out every night. Okay, so now for the formula for date night. Over dinner, we ask each other 4 questions. And the first is, so what did you appreciate about me this week? And this is always our favorite part of the date. It's wonderful. This is where we remember all of the little things that we love about each other that we might not have had the chance to articulate at the time. So for example, last week, my partner spent some time with her friends who are mothers to infants, and she offered them help as her friends are uncomfortable with asking for help directly. And I just thought it was so beautiful and so kind of her to do that for them. I know that it takes a village to raise a child, and everybody wants a village, but nobody wants to be a villager. And so to see her spending her free time doing that villager work, to offer help to her friends is, I think, something really beautiful. And so I thanked her for that. And I thanked her for walking the dogs with me in the morning. And I thanked her for the breakfast that we shared together. And I thanked her for listening to me when I felt challenged with the delivery and idea for a project that I'm working on. There are many things that we both appreciate about each other. And this regular practice of saying all the thanks that we didn't get to say throughout the week really makes us feel so warm and loved and safe right at the very start of our date. It's a hell of an appetizer. Also, I've noticed that the more that we've practiced this with each other, the better we get at it. So at first, our appreciations were very robotic, like, thank you for doing the dishes, and thank you for taking out the garbage, and thank you for being nice. The key is to express what needs of ours were met with each kindness and also how we feel from it. So that makes for a really high quality appreciation. So for example, I thanked her for walking the dogs when I was busy because it gave me the time that I needed to work on a deadline. And so I really felt like I could depend on her and that she's my teammate and my partner in life. And that just sounds so much nicer, I think, than just thank you for walking the dogs. Side note, I remember when I was on dating apps and I would see a lot of people asking to find their partner in crime, which to me just seems kind of gross and just overly cliche. Can we not be vulnerable enough to say that we want to have a partner in our life instead? Having a partner isn't illegal. Anyhow, the second question that we ask each other is, how do you feel about a relationship? And this is where we could express how we think things are going. Are we getting closer to our goals? Do we feel connected with each other? Are there some patterns that we're noticing that we're uncomfortable with? Are we feeling insecure with ourselves lately? And this is the part of the date where we could really address some of our inner world here. This is where we could get deeper with each other, more than just like a kind of superficial, how are you? Oh, I'm doing fine. Like this is where we could really be vulnerable. We started off the date beautifully, and we showed each other that we really do appreciate the efforts that we're both putting into this joint venture of our life together. We've established a sense of safety and love, and so here we could explore not just the light in our relationship, but also some of the shadow. And it's okay if we're not feeling our best, and it's okay if we're feeling concerned, and it's okay if we're feeling disconnected. That happens. Over the course of the decades of a relationship, you're not going to be batting 100 every single time. And so this is where we could check in to make sure that things are running well. No relationship is ever going to be without conflict. The idea of soulmates has given us this kind of belief that once you find a special person, then you're going to be free from all conflict. It kind of reminds me of the promises of artificial intelligence, that it's going to take away all of our work and we're never going to have to work again and it's all going to be easy. Yeah, I don't know, bullshit. There's always going to be work to be done. No system runs smoothly in perpetuity. All of them need maintenance, and your relationship is one of those systems. And so what matters at this part of the date is not to get defensive, but to really, truly understand each other and to mirror each other. Because we got to remember, we're a team here. We're going to get through this together, and so let's really be honest. At the same time, if one person or the other isn't feeling their best about the relationship, it's not always about the other person. Sometimes, in fact, most of the time, we're just going through our own shit, our own pains and our own challenges. And that sometimes gets in the way of us connecting with each other the way that we really want to connect. If there's a challenge in the relationship, it's not always the other person's fault. Every situation is co-created. Also, an important rule that we have is, well, at the start of our relationship, when we started working through our past traumas and we were unsure about each other, then date night was a time that we handled our conflict. Never in the moment during the week. If we're feeling upset about something that the other person did, there is a very slim chance in hell that talking about it right then and there is going to solve the problem. If we're both feeling activated and upset, then unloading on each other almost always leads to more damage than good. And so we've really learned how to take a breath and how to soothe ourselves, and then to discuss the challenges later during date night. And especially after our appreciation of each other at the start of date night, then we're in a much safer space to resolve our challenges. Another thing that we've noticed is that something that feels like a big deal in the moment isn't that big of a deal a couple of days later. And now that we're almost together for 4 years, we're very comfortable with each other. And because we've resolved so many conflicts over date night, we know how to handle them now within a few minutes, very easily in the moment. But you got to learn how to walk before you learn how to run. Learning the dance patterns that you use in your conflict is going to take time. And maybe that's for another video, but let's get back to the date night ritual here. And so once we've expressed what we appreciate about each other and how we feel about the relationship, and that we've mirrored it back to each other so that we both feel fully understood, then we ask the third question: what can I do to support you better? This is where we can ask each other for help in specific ways. Like, I felt kind of stuck at home this past week. Could we plan a weekend trip in the next couple of weeks? Or something like, I know you had that big project with your client last week and you spent a whole lot of time there. I felt kind of alone and my need for connection wasn't really met. Could we spend some time Tuesday night just going for a long walk and talking with each other and catching up? Or even something like, I really didn't run enough this week and my body's feeling a little bit antsy and I love running with you. Could we do a half marathon on Sunday? I totally love running half marathons on weekends and it being completely useless for the rest of the day. I love it. It's my favorite thing. Notice that none of these are demands. They're just requests. And because we both really care for this relationship, we listen to what the other person needs and we see how we could help. We have a deep spirit of collaboration with each other. And then the last question is kind of a conclusion. And the question is, so what commitment can we make to each other this week? And it's usually based on something that we've discussed from the third question. After we've shown each other how much we appreciate each other and then shared what we feel and what we need, along with some possible ways to get our needs met, then we make a commitment for some meaningful change and improvement in our lives. And to be honest, over the last 8 months or so, my partner and I haven't really been asking this last question all too often because we're in a very good spot at the moment. But question number 4 was really useful when we were first figuring each other out and we had a lot more conflicts to resolve. We've really tuned our relationship now into a solid system. And so this is just one of the few routines that we share with each other. And we also have daily routines and nightly routines that we follow. We love routines. We're very routine. We really take a relationship seriously. And so I'll be sharing the other 2 rituals that we practice with each other in my Substack. So give that a read if you'd like to hear some more. And with that, I think I'm ready to get back to book reviews. I just finished Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and I have a lot of things that are kind of stewing in me that I want to be able to write out. And there's some things that I really didn't love about it. I'm currently reading All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy, which is fucking phenomenal. Absolutely love it. It's profound and metaphysical and hilarious at the same time. I'm going to share more about both soon. And so I'll see you next time.